Does that just come down to when you get that introduction or with that initial qualification process, just figuring out what they like, what drives them, what gets them up in the morning, things like that? Like, is that how you start building those relationships, Deborah?
Yeah, I do. I do. Like, so for example, if someone's asking me for a new destination to them, I might say to them, "What's your favorite hotel?" Let's say in New York or LA, just so I can get a sense of their design aesthetic, their style, the level of service, and then I can kind of match make. But I need to have a bit of a baseline, and then if I like the property also, or I know somebody there, then I try to relate an experience that they might have also had on at that hotel or property, and then kind of just connect the dots.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I had never heard about your favorite hotel in New York or LA, which I guess there's a lot. There's a lot of iconic hotels in both those cities, but that's an interesting question to sort of gauge how people's personalities are.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Angela, so on your end, what are you doing to qualifying clients, or I guess how are you building your relationships with your clients and sort of placing them where they expect to be placed?
I think kind of similar. I like to ask them what have been their favorite trips in the past, and also what trips do they wish they would have changed? What things went wrong? What did they not enjoy? I think that tells you a lot about what's important about a trip to them. It may or may not be the accommodations. It might have everything to do with their guide, or it might have to do with just how crazy active can I be? I'm not as big into the culture, or it's, I think one of the things that probably you finally get that aha moment when you're in sales of how to sell based on what they will enjoy, not how you enjoy to travel. Um, but being in all the different destinations, at least you can kind of have some real life experiences that will tie in regardless of how they enjoy in a destination.
Yeah, and again, I know there's so many different approaches to that initial introduction to a client, and we've spoken about this a number of times on this series. But those are two very unique questions to ask, and I think a lot of advisors on the call are going to like hearing about those. If there's anyone else who has any interesting first initial questions, drop them in the chat.